Going, guys, it's K Cars, and in this video I'm kind of just gonna tell you guys like a story, and it's kind of just gonna be like a rant video, I guess. Could be interesting. So just getting right into the subject here, if you guys are kind of like me, then you probably highly dislike getting your vehicles inspected, and by that I'm just talking about like your state safety inspection or emissions inspection if you have that in your state. And before you guys get like mad at me or whatever for being negative, I just want you guys to know this is just like a story, and I'm just telling a story, and it's mostly as a joke, so keep that in mind when you watch this video. So recently, as you guys probably know if you've been following along here, I recently moved to a different state that requires, you know, safety inspection as well as emissions inspection. So I had to get my Jeep inspected, and of course it failed. And of course I do understand like the purpose of having a safety inspection and emissions inspection and all that, but some of the rules and restrictions just don't make sense to my opinion. And I guess like the way that they actually inspect your vehicle kind of sometimes doesn't make sense either. So I took my Jeep to the shop. He gave me a call. You know, he gave my Jeep a compliment for being so clean and being 20 years old. Obviously that was pretty nice of him. He told me that it passed inspection, but it failed the safety inspection because I have aftermarket LED headlights. So let me get out here and show you guys what I'm actually talking about here. So I've literally had these headlights probably for like a year. This is like one of the first things that I ever replaced on my Jeep, because the stock headlights, as you guys most likely know, do not do anything, like literally don't even light up the road. So as you can see here, it says .SAE, which means that they are approved by the DOT, so they are legal for road use, obviously, or else I probably wouldn't have got them. These are very bright, and I'm very impressed with how these things actually light up the road at night. So very happy with these. Obviously high beams, low beams. They put out about 3,300 lumens, and I got these from Quake LED. They were about $218. So definitely on the more expensive side of upgraded LEDs that you can get. I believe the next step up from these are I think they're called like JW speaker with like heated headlights. So these are definitely pretty good quality, made in the USA as well. And somehow my safety inspection failed because I have these on my Jeep. So I guess the message from that is that I need to use my stock lights and not be able to see at night. So anyways, he told me that if I replace these lights and put my stock lights back in, then it should be just fine. Of course I went back to the shop so I could pick the Jeep up and put the stock headlights back in. Whenever I got to the shop, I asked the guy, so like, what exactly was the issue with the headlights? Are they just too bright for on-road use? He said no, they're too dim. And that's kind of where I kind of like realized that it just doesn't make any sense. Like, these LED lights, he told me, are too dim, even though they are literally the brightest headlights that I could find for this thing. So I kind of questioned him. I really wasn't sure if he was like joking with me or not, but yeah, he said they're too dim, and they have like a measuring test, and basically said that the stock headlights are more focused than these LEDs, and I guess these LED headlights kind of like spread out the light pattern, so it's not going to read a brightness level that it's supposed to, I guess. At least that's what I remember that he told me. So okay, so I went back, I put in the stock headlights, and I have them out here just to show you guys what they look like. These are the stock halogen headlights. And at the shop, I told the guy, those stock headlights literally do not light up the road at night. And he said, nope, you'd be surprised. So, okay, I believed him. He probably knows what he's talking about if, you know, he's telling me to put these stock headlights back in so I can pass inspection. So, I'm not really sure about you guys, but tell me which one you think looks brighter. I mean, obviously the LEDs look brighter, and they visibly are brighter as well. So I put the stock headlights back in there. Unfortunately, one of them did not actually light up at first, so I kind of had to like sand off these connection points here. So yeah, I got it to work. The one that I had to sand off was a little bit more dim than the one that worked right away. Anyways, I got both of the stock headlights back in, and I went back to the shop the next day, got it inspected, and the guy called me back and said 25 bucks and it'll pass. Now usually if you fail inspection, you don't have to pay for a re-inspection, so that's definitely a good thing as long as you're within 15 days. So he told me it's going to be $25 to pass because they have to replace one of my headlights, and it was the headlight that I had to like sand off to actually get it to light up, which is completely understandable. But like, this is what they replaced it with. It's just like a Sylvania halogen. So it's basically the same thing, except the stock one is a Wagner bright light. So there's a little side-by-side comparison. You can see this one definitely looks newer because obviously it is. So They are about the same brightness, I believe, at least just looking at it visibly, but you know, I'm literally never going to use this thing. So 25 bucks on a headlight just to pass inspection. Take it off literally as soon as I left the shop. So literally never going to use these things because they don't even light up the road at night. So luckily I was able to pass inspection, and then I am running these upgraded LED headlights so I can actually see at night. And like I said, they are approved by the DOT, so it's not like these things are illegal or anything. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole story and kind of like rant, I guess, if you want to call it that, about the whole like inspection thing. So I did have to replace my headlights with the stock headlights just to pass, and then buy a brand new stock headlight so it would actually pass. So I guess like the point of this video is that I'm just kind of confused on how these stock halogen headlights are brighter than my upgraded LED headlights. And you know, he did explain to me that the halogens are just more focused and the LEDs are more spread out. So I guess they have like a sensor that kind of senses the exact point of the light, and maybe the LEDs put out more light output, but they don't actually put as much light output into that little sensor that they use, I guess. I'm not really sure what kind of sensor they use for that, but I'm assuming that the halogens are just more focused and they're able to put in more light into that one spot on the sensor, maybe. At least that's how I understand it. But I guess the whole positive part of this video is that my 2001, you know, 20-year-old Jeep was able to pass safety and emissions inspection, basically how it is right now. Like obviously the headlights had to be changed out, but it did pass with the stock headlights after I bought a new stock headlight. So just considering it's 20 years old and nothing else failed it except for the upgraded LED headlights, I'm actually pretty happy about that, because I know some states can definitely be pretty strict and actually check a whole bunch of different things. Whenever I went in there, he asked if I have a check engine light, or if I have like cats, or if I have an aftermarket exhaust. Yeah, like I said, these rules can be pretty strict, and I'm definitely happy that my Jeep did not have any other issues other than the headlights, like I said. And as you guys probably know, these old Jeep Cherokee XJs, it's definitely common for these things to have, you know, check engine lights or multiple different engine codes. So obviously really happy that I did not have a check engine light at the time of getting it inspected. Obviously good that I do have catalytic converters on here, because they actually do check for those here. And like I said, whenever I pulled into the parking lot, he said that it sounded kind of loud, and that's why he asked me if I have an aftermarket exhaust on this thing. I really don't think it's loud. I'm pretty sure it's like the stock volume, but I think I do have an aftermarket catback by AFE Power. So I actually got it with this exhaust on here. I believe the previous owner probably put it on just because the stock exhaust might have just been rusted out. So I'm definitely glad that they passed it even with an aftermarket exhaust like that. And of course, that's mostly because I do have catalytic converters. I think it's okay to have an aftermarket catback as long as you do have cats on the vehicle. So yeah, I'm definitely not trying to be negative about this whole situation. The guy that I had to deal with about the whole inspection and stuff, he was actually pretty helpful. He took the time to explain how halogens are different than LED lights and how they're more focused, and that's probably why the LED headlights were showing up more dim than the halogens. So like I said, he was helpful, actually explained stuff. But yeah, it was just the whole situation. They're just doing their jobs and making sure that all these vehicles that they inspect are legal to drive on the road here. I really just think it's kind of weird how like upgraded LED headlights show up as more dim than the stock 20-year-old headlights. I'm just not sure about that. So anyways, it is what it is. Had to buy a brand new stock headlight that I'm never going to use, but at least it passed. And now for some more positive news here. So if you guys watched my previous videos, I did reveal a new mod for my Jeep here. Kind of did like an unboxing as well as a review of the new mod, and you guys probably remember what that is. And if you don't, it's brand new bumper end caps for my Jeep Cherokee XJ. If you haven't seen that video, make sure to go check it out. And we are going to be releasing an installation tutorial on how to actually install these, so definitely make sure that you are subscribed if you don't want to miss that. But anyways, you guys probably know these old bumper end caps are known for being discolored very easily, and that's basically just a result of being in direct sunlight and direct UV rays. So obviously the discoloration on this thing is, you know, basically the only thing left on this Jeep to actually fix up. If you take a look at it from like the whole angle here, you can see basically everything looks pretty good, but the one thing that actually sticks out are the bumper end caps. And a lot of people have been commenting about that, saying that if I fix up these bumper end caps, then it'll basically be flawless. So I definitely agree with that, but there's also a bunch of little things to still fix up, like some of these rock chips in the front here. I did touch up a good bit of them, as you can see right there, but you know, there's always new rock chips showing up somewhere. The hood isn't the cleanest hood. You can see there's a few little spots right there, a few like flakes of rust in the hood. And then of course we do have the rear bumper, which we are going to replace as well. And this rear bumper here is basically the only spot on the entire Jeep that has like a lot of rust, I guess. But if you look at the roof here, this is another spot that has like some flakes of rust on it. If you look right there, you can probably see some of those flakes. But I guess nobody's ever gonna see the roof unless you are looking for it like I just did. And these little flakes on the hood, they're not too visible until you get up close. So like right here, you guys can't see the flakes in the hood. You have to get like up close to actually be able to see them like that. So yeah, I mean, the end caps will definitely make this Jeep look a whole lot better, but like I said, it's never going to be perfect, and it's pretty much always going to be a project in my opinion, especially with these old vehicles, which is the whole fun part of owning a Jeep like this. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be parts that break on this thing, but like I said, that's just the whole part of the process of owning an XJ like this. So guys, that's going to do for this video. Like I said, I wasn't trying to be like negative or anything about the inspection or anything. Wasn't trying to talk down on the inspector. He was a really nice guy, helped me out, took the time to explain why the LED headlights were showing up more dim than the halogens. And yeah, so future plans for the Jeep Cherokee XJ, like I said, bumper end caps in the rear bumper. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the installation tutorial on the bumper end caps that is coming up pretty soon. And if you guys have any video suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future, make sure to drop those down in the comments below. And if you guys have any questions or comments, drop those down in the comments as well. And if you guys liked this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.